Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to About Town. I'm Susan Stevens. Thanks so much for joining us as we review some of our favorite stories from the past year in part one of our Best of About Town special. We'll look back on performances, restaurants, and special events we highlighted in 2023. We start with the powerful exhibition held at the Irving Archives and Museum. The Negro Motorist Green Book exhibit is an examination of traveling while black during the Jim Crow and early civil rights movement eras. Kathy Whiteman is our guide.
The Negro Motorist Green Book exhibit is currently on a 4-year, 13-stop national tour. One of those stops was the Irving Archives and Museum.
Many of our traveling exhibitions that come through, they're two-dimensional, either framed images that go on the wall or posters. That's a pretty standard approach for traveling exhibitions. This one came in 38 crates and is an immersive experience.
The story of the Green Book comes to life through artifacts, video, and more.
It includes a lot of amazing images and graphics, as well as content, but also three-dimensional artifacts. We have a copy of the Green Book on display. They're actually fairly rare now, the originals. They're hard to find. There are exhibit cases throughout the exhibition that highlight different parts of the country and different businesses that were part of Green Book, as well as a giant neon sign from Chicago that's just breathtaking.
The exhibit examines the difficulty Black Americans faced while traveling by car during the first half of the 20th century.
This exhibition looks at the era of the Green Book, which takes place largely during Jim Crow and the very early days of the Civil Rights Movement, and examines how the Green Book played such a vital role in African Americans being able to travel. Of course, travel was taking off throughout the country, the automobile travel, but they needed a guide so they knew where it was safe to stop.
Published by Victor Green from 1936 to 1967, the Green Book was a list of Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses all over the country. It allowed travel to be less dangerous and created economic opportunities for countless small businesses, like Murray Dude Ranch in California. The Black-owned ranch was integrated and operated from 1922 to 1960. But Green's publication also provided another benefit equally important to safety.
And he writes that in the Green Book, right? In some of the versions of the Green Book, this is about traveling with dignity and without embarrassment.
A companion exhibit provided additional context at the local level.
The Irving Black Arts Council has been an amazing partner throughout this entire project. We've created with them a local Green Book exhibition that looks at some of the local stories. It features two photographers, Kelvin Littlejohn and R.C. Hickman, and their photography, so Fort Worth and Dallas, North Texas, looking at that era. Just some stunning photography, as well as some artifacts that highlight businesses and the local story from that time period. And then they've delivered some amazing programs too during this, the run of this exhibition, and so we've just really been thrilled to get to partner with them.
The exhibit explores the challenges and dangers motorists faced, but it also highlights the thriving businesses and welcoming communities they encountered in their travels. Their experiences fostered a spirit of hope, which in turn fueled the civil rights movement.
I think one of the most important things to me that I've experienced with this exhibition is just seeing through the imagery and the stories that are told how joy was an act of resistance and how important it was for African Americans to find ways to live life freely in spite of so many obstacles that were put in their path.
Many of us were surprised to find there's a Lovelock Bridge right here in Irving. But we made a trip over there to catch up with a longtime Irving couple who was adding their lock to the bridge and sharing their romantic story. Lovelock bridges are a way to commemorate your love at a romantic site that you can revisit. Las Colinas is now home to one of those bridges.
It makes complete sense for it to be here because there's no other place like this really in DFW. It's a beautiful place.
I think it's really special, and of course with Roy and I, our love story beginning here and that we've made our roots here, it's an honor to be able to say I can go and attach my special lock to that bridge.
Irving's residents, Cindy and Roy Santiscoy, have just celebrated their 35-year anniversary and are excited to add their lock to the bridge and share their love story.
So Cindy and I met at Crockett Middle School in sixth grade.
I had him in English class, and I really loved it when it was his turn to read.
And then in 7th grade, we went steady.
In 8th grade, we broke up over a student council election. We were in a runoff, and he won. And I don't know. I think that just did it. 10th grade at Irving High School, we got back together.
And have stayed a couple since.
Until we got married when we were 21, when I graduated from UNT.
Since their marriage, Cindy has taught in Irving and Roy has served as a city council member. They both continue to work for the community.
We started a business when we were young. We were about 22, and we still own that business today. Of course, we had kids.
And they're both grown. My daughter got married last summer, and my son still lives here, and my daughter too. So we get to see them a lot, along with our own families.
Having their love lock in the city where their romance began makes this bridge a significant addition to Roy and Cindy's love story. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens. From a love story to an inspiring true story, I've been open about my love for the movie Air ever since it opened in theaters this past April. It's one of my favorite films of 2023, and now it's nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture. Air is directed by Ben Affleck, who also stars in the film, alongside Matt Damon, Viola Davis, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, and Chris Messina. The film is about a sports marketing executive, played by Damon, and how he led Nike in its pursuit of the greatest athlete in the history of basketball, Michael Jordan. The film's premise is simple and concise, but also effective and moving thanks to the outstanding performances by its all-star cast.
This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
A big part of the reason why Air soars is because of the film's authenticity. Ben Affleck wanted to do this story right, so he met with Michael Jordan and made sure he approved of the facts and what they would be portraying. Jordan's only request was that Viola Davis played his mom. And who can blame him? She's fantastic. Ben Affleck continues to prove himself as a skilled director with his brilliant focus and passion for storytelling. The film is a witty crowd pleaser that moves quick. It's hilarious and has a great message about following your instincts and taking risks. Air is an inspiring true story everyone should see.
You have our attention. I believe in your son. I believe he's the future. And his story is gonna make us want to fly. But a shoe is just a shoe. Until my son steps into it.
Some people like me love to watch movies, and others love to read. It's a good thing book lovers can embrace that passion at the annual North Texas Teen Book Festival, which brings together top authors, new books, panels, and more, all under one roof for kids who love to read. Kathy Whiteman checked it out.
Where can teens and tweens meet their favorite authors?
Angie Thomas, Gordon Corman, Max Brailer, R.L. Stein.
Learn about the hottest YA books?
It's The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. Last Kids on Us, The Babysitter's Club.
Wings of Fire. It's a really good series.
And immerse themselves in their favorite hobby.
I love reading, oh my gosh. I really love to read. I love to read and you should do it too.
Top authors, hot books, and cool swag. They find it all at the North Texas Teen Book Festival.
We are back and we are better than ever.
A lot of kids could also find a new feature at the festival just for them.
We have new this year the Middle Ground track, and that's going to be designated in our programs and in the book sales area by a purple circle with MG on it, and that's for our middle grade students and those who might be going into middle grade.
The new track helps attendees find books specifically written for tweens and younger teens, such as Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales series.
This is to all the panelists. If you could change something in your very first book, what would it be?
So they have a few scenes together, which never happened. I've never had a kid come up to me and say, there's nothing about that in his story. But I do wish I could change that. And also,
organizing great panels, fun activities, and author signings for the day-long event is no small job. but the small army of dedicated staff and volunteers make it all run like clockwork. Volunteer Katherine Johnson says it's so worth it.
And you're going to get to hear this as we have authors entering right now, and just seeing the kids' faces light up and just feeling like you're making that small bit of difference. It's great.
It's a difference that can be very meaningful in a young person's life.
I love writing, and I think to be a good writer, you need to be a good reader.
When you're reading, it's like you go into a new world and you can just like live it out.
I am autistic, and it helps calm me, especially when my nerves are really high and I feel overstimulated. I can just sit down and read, and it helps a lot.
All reasons the festival has been so successful, and why middle graders and teens keep coming back for more.
I'm here for the endless stories. Endless stories.
Endless stories. I'm here for the endless stories, and I know that's your catchphrase.
All the activities and fun at a convention can make you work up an appetite. Luckily, Irving offers so many wonderful restaurants and bakeries. I am especially happy that we have our Nothing Bundt cakes around whenever I'm craving something sweet.
You probably know the name, and some of you may already know their flavors. But how did Nothing Bundt cakes come to be?
It was started in Las Vegas by two women in their kitchen who just, had a passion for baking and bringing joy. And they opened up their first store in 1997. And then slowly started franchising out.
The franchise made its way to Irving in 2018 and has become a popular staple since then.
That's great. It's a great community, great people. Everyone, loves us. We're always a fan favorite for any occasion.
If I walk into a place and I don't have cake, they're like, "Why are the Bundt ladies here? Why don't you have cake?"
That response might be due to the store's variety of delectable flavors, which include chocolate chip, red velvet, white chocolate raspberry, and many more baked fresh daily cakes.
Every day we have our bakers come in early, and that's one of our big things. It's not like we have cakes shipped here. Everything is made in-house, and a lot of people think, they walk in and like, "Oh, you have a couple of employees." Well, not really. We have about 15 to 20 employees. Everything happens in the back of the house. So we have our signature buttercream cheese frosting on all of our cakes, and I think that's what makes it amazing.
The frosting is amazing, and I got a chance to learn how to add it to the buntlets.
I saw she did it
Just
so
like
well.
that.
Woo!
Yep.
All right.
Hey, way to go.
That is harder than it looks.
Right? Yeah.
Cakes are offered in multiple sizes that range from the buntinis by the dozen to the large 10-inch bunt. They also make a great gift for any occasion.
What's really cool about Nothing Bundt cakes is we have retail all around our store, so you can literally take one of these mugs, just put a buntlet on top, and there's your gift and you're done. So it's like a one-stop shop.
If you prefer to stay home and have your cakes come to you, Nothing Bundt cakes will also deliver.
We are on Uber Eats and DoorDash, so you can just open up the app and click on your favorite cake item and you get it delivered to you in about 20 to 30 minutes.
Whether you're ordering for a celebration or just treating yourself, Nothing Bundt Cakes is excited to be serving handcrafted desserts to the community.
I love a snickerdoodle buntlet almost as much as I love seeing young performers show off their talents on stage through one of my favorite Disney tales, Aladdin. The Irving Youth Theater hosted a show-stopping production of Aladdin Jr.
Good evening to you worthy friends. Welcome to the fabled city of Agrabah.
We're super excited about Disney's Aladdin Jr.
It's about a street boy who is got a few friends, and they make their living by stealing and just scrounging, but he bumps into a beautiful princess who's also in the market trying to get away from the palace.
And so it's the story of falling in love and discovering new worlds and finding the character inside, the diamond in the rough.
Silence! Or I'll finish you off both right here in the street. Wait! I command you to stop. Princess Jasmine?
Princess? You're a princess?
I'll be playing as Aladdin, a poor boy who's lost in the streets, and he's a diamond in the rough, and he just finds a way to just find true love.
So my character is Princess Jasmine. She is a very curious, strong-willed, independent woman who, she longs for her own freedom, and, she's trying to be the Sultan of Agrabah, and her father's, trying to make her marry some other suitors, and of course she's like, no, I can do this myself. I am a strong woman. I have the capability, and I want to be there for my kingdom, which is, of course, Agrabah, so it's a very exciting role to play.
Jafar's a bit, deceiving and cunning and a little bit ruthless. There's a bit of an angry side to him.
I am playing the role of Genie and also
the Cave of Wonders.
But let's talk about the genie. So, Genie is like the high action role of the show. He's the comedy of the show. Plot's kind of centered around good guys using me and maybe bad guys using me to, you know, get the wishes because I can do anything.
In the corner now, some heavy ammunition in your hand. You got the punch. Hooray!
Theater is just a combination of all sorts of different elements.
In theater, you get to interact with others and learn how to show yourself, how to present yourself, how to capture an audience.
Theater is such a space where you can just express yourself and be this whole new person that you don't get to be in everyday life.
The value of theater and performing and getting up in front of people and speaking and building confidence, that, you know, you just can't put a price tag on that. And our schools do a good job, but this is an opportunity for kids from all over Irving to come together and put on a show.
The show is really, really great, and we worked so hard on this. So I really hope everybody just enjoys the show as much as we have performing it.
The holidays may be over, but there's still plenty to do around the city. Levi Gomez, our man about town, has some great suggestions.
Hi everyone, Levi here. The Irving Arts Center will be hosting Lunch and Learn with Jaime Arredondo. He'll be discussing his different artworks on display at the Irving Archives and Museum. Come join in January 16th at 12 p.m. Come sing your heart out at Mama Tried. You could also play a few games of pool for free. Plus, don't forget to grab a drink at the Full Bar. All the fun happens January 17th at 7 p.m. The 39 Steps is a comical, fast-paced whodunit presented by Mainstage Irving Las Colinas. It's in the Dupree Theater from January 19th through February 3rd. If you love pickleball, then this event is for you. Pickleball Palooza. It's a come-and-go experience where players of all levels can participate. Players must bring their own paddles and balls. Come break a sweat January 20th at 2 p.m. here at Mustang Park Rec Center. The Las Colinas Symphony Orchestra presents London is Calling. The featured performer will be Mario Rocco Ferrari, held at the Irving Arts Center in Carpenter Hall. The show is January 20th at 7:30 p.m. Comedian Brian Reagan will be performing at the Pavilion at Toyota Music Factory. Brian has performed on Comedy Central, Late Night TV, and more. It's sure to be a fun-filled evening full of laughs. The fun happens January 26th at 8 p.m.
For more events about town, visit irvingartcenter.com and the events calendar at irvingtexas.com. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in next time for part 2 of our Best of About Town special.
And it represents the many cultures that call Irving home.
It's awesome.
I love it. I love the crowd. I love the fans. It's awesome here.
It's really nice to be able to represent your city. You know, it can be a little fun fact about Irving.
As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show. You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on X and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. We'll leave you tonight with music from another one of our favorite events from last year, David Chicken Live. For About Town, I'm Susan Stevens. Have a great evening.
We're gonna go on a doggy walk. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. Me and Jody cruising around the block. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. Everybody, we're gonna go on a doggy walk. Me and Diego cruising around the block. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. We're gonna change the world. We're gonna plant the trees. We're gonna roll in the grass. We're gonna plant the trees. We're gonna do everything that a dog deserves to do. Because I'm looking at the dog and I'm very nice for it too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the doggy walk, the dog. It's the doggy walk. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. Me and Coco cruising around the block. We're gonna go on a doggy walk. We're gonna change the world. Good time. We're gonna plant the trees. We're gonna roll in the grass. We're gonna plant the leaves. We're gonna do everything that a dog deserves. Nice and 40 words. Cause I'm looking like a dog and I'm telling you now. backwards, 2 rows, yeah. It's a doggy walk. Look at this tambourine shaking, tambourine solo. 2 times. Now if you do the doggy walk, I bet you can. Let's see what you got. Wag your tail all around. And let me hear you bark.